Hey, what's good, family? You know who it is. Dr. Jerry W here for another live session. And today, I've got this young lion by the name of Tyler Watts. He's a R&B dynamo, nay, should I say a crooner at his young age, beginning at the tender age of 3 years old. He's a powerhouse vocalist and performer whose smooth tone and stage presence has set him well on his way. He presents well beyond his years. Mentioned by the late, mentored by the late great Betty Wright. Y'all remember her? She did the FU Symphony and all that good stuff, stuff that was very popular when I was coming up. But amazing. And you're co-signed by Jacquees. And actually, we got a nice little tidbit because he's actually on Jacquees' label, FYB Records, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, your new single has like Prettiest Girl is named. The Joker has over 2 million streams and it's got a Queesh remix. So really great backstory as to how he met Jacquees. We're gonna get into it from don't be scared to say hi. I think this is the important takeaway we're going to have at the end of this. Don't be scared to say hi. Young Lion stepped up, says, "Hey, nice to meet you. I sing. Oh yeah, show me," and got down on the spot. And the next thing you know, the conversation was had, the motion was made, and here we are today. Tyler Watts. Appreciate you. Hey, Pops, how you doing?
Doing all right. Can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm amazing, Mr. Watts. I'm amazing. All right. So I always like to get a reflective. Now, Darnell did warn me when I asked this question that you might not have a great perception, but I think you're wise beyond your years. So I'm going to ask it anyway. From the inside looking out in a reflective moment, tell me about Tyler Watts, the performer and the young man.
Well, Tyler Watts, honestly, he's a really cool or really laid back person. You know, I have moments where I stay to myself and, I can be myself, but it comes to certain times, like especially when I step on that stage, it's like I flip a switch. So it's like inside Tyler and reserve Tyler that can be no more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get on the stage and I gotta make sure I entertain the crowd and do what I need to do and make sure I give a great performance. So it's kind of like two different people, honestly. Like I get on the stage and I'm like, okay, I can't be reserved Tyler right now. I
Right.
gotta be jump out there, Tyler. I gotta be aggressive. I gotta be aggressive, Tyler. Like, I gotta make sure I do what I gotta do to make sure these people are entertained and they're pleased.
Okay. Yeah, I had gotten the word that you're the laid back kid in school who's the ghost that everybody knows. Yeah, he just keeps to himself and minds his own business, stays out the way. Um, Amazing thing. So you started singing at just 3 years old. What do you
Yes.
remember most about those early moments that made you fall in love with music?
I say what I remember most is probably just running around the house just singing Michael Jackson songs, singing Chris Brown
Okay.
songs. Like I always knew I had a passion for music. Like it was something that I just always loved doing. And then I funny story, I recorded a video for my grandma's birthday party because I wanted to sing for her, but it's crazy because back then I was a little nervous, I was a little shy, I didn't want to get on stage and sing. So I had to record a video and they was gonna play it on the projector. But funny thing is, when we got to the place, the projector wasn't working.
Mm,
So we was like, I'm like, dang, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I recorded this video and I'm like, you know what? Forget it, man. I might as well just get on stage and just sing. Like, the projector's not working. There's nothing else we could do.
right, right, right.
On the stage, I sung. Everybody fell in love with it. My grandma, she was happy with it. I sung to her, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, he can really sing!" Like, and then from that point on, I was like, man, it felt good. Like it felt like something that I was supposed to do. Like kind of like God set that up. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt good, man. That's probably the most memorable moment, like as singing as a small child.
So that sounds like a benchmark moment. You're like, yeah, this is me right here. So it sounds like music grabbed you. It's not like you had much of a choice.
That
It was just there. So yeah, you belong to me. I love that story. That's dope. Now, for those of us in my age group, Betty Wright was an icon, a she threw open gates, you know what I mean, behind the scenes and on stage. And you were mentored by her, and she played a huge role in your development. Um, I don't want to ask the standard question, but how did you get hooked up with Betty Wright? But I would like to know, what's one lesson from her that still guides you every time you step into the studio or on stage? And you can throw in the bonus round with how y'all came together too, if you like.
No, but so how I started working with her was basically my dad, he had connections to, he basically set that up for me. He had connections with Betty Wright. So we basically asked if I could start taking vocal lessons with her. And I pulled up to her house and she agreed and it basically happened from there. But I could say one thing that she kind of taught me. I'll say one funny thing that she kind of told me was to stay on beat. Cause back, yeah, I low key like I was a part of this group that she got me in with too. It's called Little Dreamers Foundations. And basically we would do like the little steps. It was a singing group. And we would do a little steps. I would kind of be off beat a little bit. She's like, boy, make sure you stay on beat. You know, that's one thing that she told me. But another thing she told me was to always, stay focused, stay um dedicated. Don't go off track. Don't be out here doing these crazy things. Don't be doing nothing stupid. Just make sure you stay innocent and stay motivated, man.
There you go. So, you can't make them kind of confessions and not somebody like me say something back. So you mean in the choir when everybody else is going this way, you might be a little late.
I was a little late. I you know,
Throwing,
yeah, I was a little late. I caught on though. Eventually, I caught on, but in the
you was
beginning, I had a
I
little
was
trouble.
bro, I don't feel bad. I still can't do it. I still can't do it. I'm like, put me in the bass section. I need my own row. I need to be I need to be the stanchion in the middle of the choir in the back that ain't moving. Just my mouth, you know what I mean? Little Dreamers, amazing program put on by Phil Collins.
Yes.
I'm gonna get to that, but I would like first to know, you know, uh growing up in Miami, how's the city's energy and culture shaped your sound as an R&B artist? Because it's unique. The jits out there in Florida, the whole vibe is different. My family is historically from Tampa, so I kind of have the feeling a little bit. But I'd like to see it from your perspective. How did it shape your sound and stuff?
No, I feel you. It's definitely different out here in Miami. Like you said, most of these jits, they not doing R&B. I feel like I'm one of the only youngins out here in Miami specifically that's really doing R&B and tapped in with it for real. Like, every most of them is rappers and things like that. So I feel like it's definitely unique. But I love the city of Miami, man. Like they've always been supportive of me, from day one. Like my circle, especially like my family and people who pull up to my events, like they've always been showing me love since day one. Like it's definitely helped as far as like my journey. So yeah, that Miami is a great place, man.
Okay, okay. Now performing alongside Phil Collins and Betty Wright through the Little Dreamers Foundation, what did that experience teach you about professionalism and artistry?
It taught me a lot. It honestly taught me that I could be one of the greats because I was on stage performing alongside of a couple of the greats, and it really just inspired me. Like I could be them. Like if I stay hardworking, I stay motivated, I stay dedicated, I could really be them, and it just inspired me to want to get up there.
Okay. You talked about courage at the opener, you know what I mean? Having the courage to say hello and, you know, shoot your shot, your 2 minute pitch if you're a business person, your elevator pitch if you're on the corporate side. But as an artist, you know, uh, meeting someone who you admire and who would eventually become a mentor, it could take, a little extra. Can I, you know, I could sing, go beyond the high. Can I get a photo, and et cetera, et cetera. So you met Jacquees during a concert meet and greet, and that changed your life. So What was it about that moment that led to the prettiest girl, uh, Mix,
Okay.
and ultimately signing the FYB record?
Yeah, man. So basically, like you said, I opened up for him. He was on his Sincerely for You tour in 2023. I opened up for him, and obviously he's one of my favorite artists. So I wanted to stay after and meet him. And I stayed after for his meet and greet, like you said, and then I told him that I opened up for him, and then he was like, sing some. So
Mm.
I sang some for him. He was like, okay, okay, sing something else. So I sung something else for him. He was like, "Look, bro, you hard, bro." Like
Mm.
he told me, he was like, you the best singing youngin I done heard sing for me in person." I was like, yeah. He was like, real talk. Like he said, who you signed to? I said, I'm not signed to nobody. He was like, okay, you signed to us.
Ha, ha, ha. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
like, that's how it happened. I promise you, that's how it happened. And then ever since then, he kept his word. He been locked in with me ever since. And around March of 2024, that's when we actually started getting into the studio, to working together. And how the Prettiest Girl song came about, we was in the studio and we heard the beat, and everybody in the studio instantly fell in love with the beat. So, I'm still working on my pen game. So he was in the studio recording a reference for me so I can get in there and put my little sauce on it, put my little spin on it, do it my way. And he heard the beat and he was like, "Little bro, you got any pretty girls at your school?" I said, "Yeah." And I don't know why, but instantly to his head, he just thought of, "You might be the prettiest girl I've ever seen." Like that's literally how it happened right there. And I was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mm.
That's a hit." Even my sister was in the studio and I was recording it too. She was like, "Yeah, Tyler, that's a hit."
Yeah.
Real.
Hey, I got to point out, y'all, 4 million people just heard you sing live. I'm not an engineer. Everybody knows my little lives don't be ain't no engineer in here. Ain't no sound correction. Exactly how he just sounded is exactly how he sounds on that daggone record.
Nah, for sure.
Okay, heads up. I mean, there wasn't no shade on nobody. I'm just saying. This young lion just blasted us. You put the record on, put him on, it sounds the same. The mix wasn't messed up. The engineer didn't add nothing funky. You know what I mean? He sounds like that. That's a
Nah,
musician.
that's how we
That's a
do
singer. Sanger,
it.
right?
Yeah, that's how we do it.
I'm loving it. Natural. Uh, yeah, and no shade to people who have to have or who enjoy using enhancements. That
Right.
was no shade. I'm just saying, when he hits the mic on the stage, this is what you're going to get. You just heard it live, exclusively, right here.
I appreciate you.
Thank me, ladies. Now, look, this single has over 2 million streams. When did you realize that it was resonating with listeners, beyond your core fan base? Because this goes the Jacob's ladder of multi-generationalism. You know what I mean?
Right. Honestly, the moment when I started realizing it was resonating with people is when I saw the TikTok videos. Cause honestly, I didn't really know what it was doing on TikTok until I checked the sound. Like how when you go on TikTok and you could check sounds and how many videos
Mm,
made to it. So at the time, I had checked it and I think it was like 7,000, 8,000 videos that was made to it. And I was like, whoa,
wow. Yeah.
like that's crazy. Like I didn't realize like that many people was using the song on TikTok and posting to it. So that's really the moment I started realizing I'm like, yeah, people is listening to the song and it's resonating with people.
Mhm.
So, from then on, it started going up and up and up and up. And right now, I think it's at almost 400,000 videos. Like, that's crazy.
Wow. Commanding that space. I watch it. I don't make music. Can't carry a tune in a bucket if you had both hands on it. And I just listen and I look, and of course, I do interview clips and put them on TikTok, and when I have the opportunity, if the artist has their music out, I can attach it to the interview clip, and I go, man, there's a bigger impact on this platform for artists just by doing the clips. And if you think about it, and Mr. Watts, you will probably know this, but when you do the commercial clips on the radio, when you're pushing the song and all that stuff, it's that clip that wins you over. You know, you know, never
Facts.
mind on the business model, you're also getting an extra spin because you're running your own commercials on there. You know what I mean? But it's the clip. Either you get them within that first 60 or you don't. And so I really love the way it's laid out, the thought process and the mind mapping that's gone into presenting it. And that is a massive indicator now, um, as to whether people are going to pay attention to you. You know what I mean? The algorithm instead of the talent, it's the algorithm. You just happen to have both. You know what I mean? And a great personality and star quality. Your presentation is dynamic on screen. Even sitting still, you exude power, young lion. I just want you to know that. So
Thank
in your calm is the more powerful. I love it.
thank you.
So you've performed massive events like, the Jazz Gardens and the Super Bowl Fan Fest. Uh, how do you prepare mentally and vocally to command like big stages like that, knowing that there's difference in the club and outdoor, indoor stuff? How do you work yourself through this and prepare?
Well, vocally, I have my warm-ups that I do. I have warm-ups that I do before every single performance. They're catered specifically to my voice. I work with a vocal coach, so I have warm-ups that's catered specifically to my voice. But as far as mentally, honestly, I listen to music. I like to
Mm,
get in that mode and well, mainly R&B. I listen to music just to make sure I'm in that mode, make sure I'm focused, make sure I know that I have a goal, and by the end of this performance, make sure I have reached that goal. And
mm,
I have rehearsals and things like that too that get me prepared for shows. But as far as mentally, I just got to make sure I stay focused.
okay. So, here me, like I said, not only I don't make music, but public speaking and public performing in different venues. How is there a technique that you use to modulate between the different venues that you're going to be in and know how much power to project? You said you have rehearsals. Is that like a consideration so you don't blow out your voice? And I hear some of the struggles that singers have with the voice, and but you have had a vocal coach since you were three. That's the best in the world.
Right.
um so I guess it was a technical question for people like me who just curious and like, dang, well, how do you prepare to, if you're in the freaking Boston Garden, the Madison Square Garden, open up 70,000 people versus, you're going to arm 10,000 people and kind of an indoor arena. Is the microphone or this is a sound check question. It might be too technical. We don't even have to go there, but I'm just having fun with you. And so thank you for allowing this to go from interview to conversation because you're really giving me some valuable information. Our listeners and our viewers are getting a valuable engagement, and we're learning some stuff about you as a person. So I just want to sneak in that little technical question. Forgive me for going off track, but it's just the fun stuff. So
No, for
anyway,
sure.
so style, fashion, obviously, are huge things in this day and age. And you have your own clothing line. How does fashion play a part in your identity as both an artist and a brand?
I feel like fashion plays a big part of my identity because I love fashion. I've loved fashion for a long time, and it's kind of the thing that me and my mama have in common because she loves fashion too. So that's the thing. Like especially when we picking out my outfits for shows, like we could just work together and just be like, oh, this for this kind of show, I think we could wear this kind of outfit, or for that kind of show, we could wear that kind of outfit. I just love fashion. I've always have. And
Okay.
mama is like she's basically my stylist too. So
I understood you to say that when you put that out there. I'm like, man, I need a stylist. Mom, where you at? I need help. I need help. I retired military. I've been in uniform and boots since I was 18. And so, having just retired in 2013, I come out and go like, what the heck are y'all wearing? You know, grown men looking like, youngsters and all flat. So I've never been a flashy person or concerned with the nuances. When you're looking at your line, what are some of the things that you consider? And go ahead and give me some of that youthful energy and education so I can know what I should be. Because I can't wear what you're wearing. Look at that. You look fly, but I know I can't do
No, for sure. I mean, it's definitely we definitely in a different time of fashion. Like where the youngins they wearing like the oversized shirts and they wearing the stuff with the well like I got on they wearing the stuff with the rhinestones on it and it's kind of like just blinged out. It's really a blinged out era right now. Like everywhere
it.
you
Okay.
look, especially when you go to events, like people are having rhinestones all over the place on their outfits. So it's definitely a different time, but I feel like my clothing brand is a little different because it kind of just represents me, like and what I have going on. Like I got hoodies and shirts and hats, and I honestly I just see sometimes I just see people wearing my clothes when I go out.
Ooh,
Like
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
like it's crazy. Like I'll just see somebody with a Tyler Watts hoodie. Like if I'm just going to Walmart or something, I'd be like, that's crazy.
Mm.
Going right here.
Is that one of the more fun parts for you is getting the acknowledgement of your creativity? Not only people, coming to the concerts and buying the music, but just out of the blue, somebody pops out with one of your designs, and you're like, wow, like seeing yourself on the radio face on Sirius XM for the first time or something, like, yeah, I'm on the radio, and wow, they really like my creations. Does that give you inspiration and strength and motivation to come up with something wilder or pay more attention? And how in the world do you do it? How do you pay attention to both? It takes a lot of time. I mean, it takes me 10 minutes to draw a stick figure in person. So I can only imagine the layout on the fashion and whatnot, what you're going through.
Yeah, I mean, I have people that work with me, but it's definitely motivating to see, my work being appreciated. It's a motivator for me, and I feel like it goes to show like your work when it's appreciated, it's just on a whole different level. It's like, oh yeah, people like my work is resonating with people, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I like it. I haven't watched the fashion part so much, but I pay attention to the music and how it's accepted across generational lines. You know what I mean? And when Miss Johnson with the fruit hat in the front pew at the Baptist church said, "Listen to that boy sing. That boy can sing. Who is that?" I'm like, "Yo, that's this young lion named Tyler Watts. I wanted to just get what you thought. Well, he's a real singer. Validation from that era, down to, all the young ladies in the hallway walking down, and they were a little shy to join you. You had to motion them in. Come on, like join in and sing, but for
Yeah.
them to know all of that and the enthusiasm, not just for being on camera, but you could tell in their voices they really loved what they were singing, and that's the win. You know what I mean? Um, Going through this process, obviously, strong family unit, mother, father is there by your left side, and you're being mentored by Jacquees, not just on the musicality, but the business side and the new age business portion. Um, Having been mentored yourself, do you see yourself mentoring the next generation one day, or what kind of example are you hoping to set as a creative and as a young, aware man coming up?
Yes, I definitely do. I definitely feel like as if I could be a mentor to the next generation. I feel like everything just gets passed down. Like so, like for example, like the things that Jacquees is doing for me, hopefully I can do that for someone else one day. Like one of the new youngest coming up when I reach that status.
Mm.
I definitely want to start my own label one day too,
Okay, okay.
just to be in that CEO mindset.
Hey, you know, the CEO mindset, I understand the positioning and the title seems to be important, but I would like to just put out there and not to, say anything against anything you may have been taught by anybody else. It's not the fame or the title, it's the power that's put into it that makes the title even mean anything. The ability to move people and make them do what you need to get done. is what makes an exceptional CEO. It's like being an NCO in the military. How do I move my troops and move the team to get this mission accomplished? And you've got a beautiful mission, and that's bringing amazing music and contributing to the fabric of music across the board. So, I, I, I love what you're doing. I love that you've got the strong family ties. You know, Mr. Watts, I was a I'm a father of six, grandfather of 15. I have to ask you this question. All the running around you do and getting and hauling and toting and moving around, when he did his first public appearance, was "Hi, Mom" the first thing he said?
You know that's automatic. That's automatic. That's automatic. That's automatic.
you know, I'm like, boy, for 15 years, I've been running you around and toting bags and buying this and buying. And we get on national TV on ESPN. The first thing you say is, "Hi, Mom." Well, you're standing here. No, no, I'm right here. I'm not chopped liver. So
Right.
I think that's a funny thing that all parents who support, motivated children go through is learn how to stay out the way,
Yeah.
and at the same time protecting them. I have, bring Dad in here real quick, Mr. Watts. What has been your greatest joy in watching this journey and the transformation? And what have you learned as a, parent participant in the business process?
Um, well, first I'll say is like being with and being around Betty Wright, like we learned a lot from her too. And and still got a lot more to learn, but just like being new to the industry and to the business, like she taught us a lot and certain things to look out for and certain things to listen to, and certain things that if it becomes alarming, if it don't seem right, I mean it's not right. A lot of stuff like that. And we definitely appreciate it. And unfortunately she passed away because, she said to us before she passed away that she gonna make sure she see Ty throughout his entire journey and
Mm,
make sure nobody mistreats him and that kind of stuff because she knows the ins and outs of the business and how it goes, whatever. But unfortunately she passed away. But up until then, it was a lot of things she shared with us, a lot of gems she gave us that, instilled in us and we remember, and then it kind of like we took that along the way and kept moving forward. So there's certain things we knew to just stay away from. And we also learned to just be patient,
mm,
because everybody gonna come to you with, I can do this, I can do that, I can help you with this. We stayed the course until it felt right. You know,
mhm,
even before Jacquees came in the picture, there was certain people, certain situations that came about that just didn't feel right, and we just didn't do it. Because we here we know it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we
right.
know it's not going to happen overnight. So we just stayed true to it, stayed the course. And when that situation came about, it was I felt like it was God's timing because the way that Tyler like really looked up to Jacquees as a as a person, as a singer, it just came back full circle. Honestly, it's really a funny story. Like probably wouldn't believe it. We just tell like, all the things he's done like pertaining to Jacquees before it happened. It's just like funny that he actually ended up signing with him and being with him and being we're like family now.
Mm,
To see him live out his dreams for me, like that's all you want to see as a parent, and to do something that he loved to do. Because me, I was a sports guy.
okay.
I played Division 1 basketball. I was into sports. I did track, state champion, one of the top players in the state of Florida. And I came up. So of course, my thing was to get him involved in sports. And I had him involved in sports, but I also knew as a parent, I'm never going to force it. And he was doing sports and music, and one just took off further than the other, and I got behind that. I didn't
Mm,
ignore it. I didn't ignore it because I wasn't music and say, nah, forget that. I'm making him do this. I'm making him do this. When I saw that's what he was excelling in, okay, I got behind it. I took it a lot more serious and I just pushed it. And for me, it's just very, satisfying to sit back and watch your kid, do what he always wanted to do, and he's getting a great opportunity, and he's in position to actually do what he dreamed of doing. I
mm,
can't even there's no words that can explain it, you know.
Yeah,
I'm very thankful and it's man, I can't put it into words. You know, it's a great feeling. It's a
I
great
understand. Yeah, I understand. We've done all the best we can as parents, but they have to execute. They have to put the work clothes on their dreams, go to the work site, and build that house.
facts.
So, and for us to see them applying the skills, soft skills, the work ethic skills and integrity skills that we, tried to instill in them, have instilled in them, and to see them execute it and paint that Matisse, that Basquiat on that blank canvas right in front of our face, that is an amazing feeling
Yes.
just
Yeah.
as a parent. So commonality with you, Mr. Watts. Tyler, with the momentum behind your music and brand, what's next for Tyler Watts? What kind of legacy do you want to leave in R&B? I already know my thoughts and my confidence in you from the outside looking in, not even being a part of the team, but just looking at this overview, watching the results, seeing obviously that you're coachable and able to retain and maintain uh, relationships with people who can actually change your life and know the business,
Right.
is in this day and age of just automatic rebellion at age 18. Congratulations, first of all, on being black and making 18 in the United States. All right. According
Absolutely.
to the statistics, right?
Absolutely.
Uh, you know, it's a long, convoluted question, but it's a congratulations and a salute to you. It is grateful for you being who you are. It's grateful for you listening to your parents, listening to those around you. And with this momentum, what's next, and where do you see it going on?
Well, first, thank you, man. The kind of legacy I want to leave, I want to be labeled as one of the greats. Honestly, I want to go on tour. I want to go headline my own tour one day. I want to win a few Grammys. I just want to keep putting that work in and really resonate with everybody, not just the kids or not just the adults or not just the boys, not just the girls. Like I want to make sure I have my persona is resonated with everyone, not just a specific group. And that's basically a legacy I want to leave. I want to be labeled as one of the greats.
If you're not going to be the greatest, why even bother to do it, right? You know what I
Fact.
mean? And I take it you're not saying that in a braggadocious way. You just love it. It appears to me that you love the craft, you love music, the legacy of the people who have had their hands on your career and helped you mold the artist that is Tyler Watts. And, as a collateral benefit, the young man that is Tyler Watts. Strong hands, strong, watchful hands, from Betty Wright to Phil Collins to your parents and Jacquees, you know what I mean? Who, as a youngster himself coming into the business, I'm sure got some surprises and some life changing revelations, and especially when it comes to doing the business part of the music
Yeah.
business, you know, uh, being able to maintain a pure heart and the love for the craft uh, as a focus seems to be the secret to success for everyone from Eddie Levert down to Jacquees. It's loving the craft and respecting the craft that makes you win. And then your audience loves the authenticity. They can feel it, when you're delivering from your soul. Look, y'all could ramble on with you all day, and I'm really enjoying the conversation. Is there anything that you wanted to cover that I may have neglected?
You covered a lot of the things. I just want to make sure everybody knows that my EP is dropping this Friday. Youngin Part 2, October 31st. Stay tuned for that. Prettiest Girl, the original and remix is doing amazing. Fall in Love, that's also one of my new singles that's out there. It's doing well too. Um, yeah, man, I want everybody to just tap in with me and my journey, man.
Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and do the usual and give out the social medias then.
Facts. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at the real Tyler Watts, and also my name is Tyler Watts on all major streaming platforms. So Apple Music, Spotify, all that. Y'all check your boy out.
You know who it is. You know what we do. We have live sessions, great conversations. You've honored me, both of you, Mr. Watts, young Tyler Watts. You've honored me by making this a conversation. And I appreciate your time, patience with my shenanigans and my old man moments at the top of the segment. We got it together. And I really look forward to supporting you and helping to tell more of your story. So until next time, man,
Till next
peace.
time. Appreciate you for having me.
Appreciate you. All right.